And let's go. Okay. So now we're going to be, hopefully, you guys did your homework. And it looks like Muniz is got a very, very cool new background as part of his homework. And
I
apparently, Muniz was saying that he also has had a lot of fun doing the exercise. How about you, Prabha?
I'm very sorry, Otto. I was very busy from yesterday. I really unable. Even I just stopped driving and then I just rushed into my meeting room just now, just
Oh,
to join.
no.
I'm
So,
very very sorry.
so my accountability strategy didn't work, huh?
I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. But
Okay.
I'll
All right.
finish.
No
I'll
worries.
finish everything. I'll finish everything.
Okay, all right. So Muniz, why don't you go ahead and let's see what you got. Give us a presentation with your 5 slides and your words, and let's go from there.
All right, let me just share my screen and here goes. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
so this is my first slide. Yeah. So there's a couple of things that I would like to do with this. Yeah. For example, the what you're talking about here is about growing old together, right? So many people when they go into relationships and all that, they have this idea of I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. But then again, something happens in that plan, maybe after a couple of years, something happens. So basically what I will talk about in this slide is about, how do you now grow old together? What are some of the things that you need to be aware of, to know about yourself, also about your partner, so that you will have this long-term vision of staying together and working out things, because things may not always be rosy. So at times, there you will have ups and downs. So how do you as a couple work things out, and and spend the time knowing each other and growing old, and go into a territory that we call the mature love, right? Not just the initial love part, but more of a mature love. Yeah. So this is what this slide is all about. It's about talking through people about, it's a journey that one needs to take, and a long-term view of the relationship that one needs to take. Yeah, so that's so that you will see that's a picture of two couples, not too old, but I thought this couple looks a little bit of like my age, so I thought this this will be the right couple picture to put. Yeah, and then you have got my company logo and also the contact details at the bottom. So this is the first one. Um, the second slide I have is, this slide talks about, being the right fit, right? Sometimes we don't know whether this person is the right person for us. So how do we know? So that's why if they do the prepare and reach, the assessment tool, you'll be able to find out, what are some of the idiosyncrasies of this person. What are some of the likes, dislikes of this person? And, is this something which is a negotiable or a non-negotiable item for me? Based on this and based on their relevant scores for, how they look at trust, how they look at relationships, looking a little bit about, their background. So the couple will be able to know whether this is a right fit for them. So this picture basically talks about a puzzle, whether, it's a right fit. And if it's a right fit, it'll feel like, you feel complete basically. Yeah, that's what this picture is all about. Um, Let me go to the next one. All right. So again, it's about, when you talk about relationships, you talk about having long-term relationships. It's about having deep connection, because a lot of times you'll find couples, they are together, especially in the Asian context, right? They are together out of not because out of commitment to each other, but out of responsibility, because they have got kids. They feel like if they leave the kids, if they leave the marriage or whatever, what's going to happen to the kids. So here, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk a little bit about a deep connection that a couple needs to have, so that the relationship will go beyond having just mere responsibility. It's about committing to one another, committing to growing one another, and creating a world where both can thrive and both can be fulfilled in a relationship. Yeah. So that's what this picture is all about. It's about deep connection. And of course, once I show each slide, right, there are supporting slides that goes with it, and that is where I will talk a little bit more about that slide and what this whole deep connection means, and how do one actually get deeply connected with one another. Yeah. Then the next slide that I have is good listener. Good listener. Yeah. So here, the picture that I chose was, both of them are listening to a single piece of music, right? So it's about being on the same page. So communication is about, listening, paraphrasing, and making sure that we get each other, so that there will not be a miscommunication. Yeah, it's about really understanding that come from the intention of each person. So that's what this slide is all about. It's about, how do you cultivate good listening skills, good communication skills. What are some of the things that couples need to do in order to cultivate that good listening habit? Yeah. So that's what this is all about. And finally, the last one is about igniting passion. Okay, most of the time you find that after a while, eventually the passion somewhat dwindles in a relationship, right? So how do we keep that passion alive? How do we keep that fire alive? So this slide and the subsequent slides after this will talk a little bit more about keeping that alive, keeping that fire alive, in a couple, because when you have kids and all the other responsibilities that comes with having a family, sometimes this part of it will, some couples will ignore it. It may seem like it's okay at that point of time, but in a longer term it may not be healthy for the couple. So how do we make sure that we, as we are growing old together, we are also keeping the passion alive? So this slide basically talks about that, and then you see that couple of that. All right. So these are the five slides I have as part of the homework, guys. I'm happy to get any feedback if you like to share. Thank you.
Okay, guys, what Prabha, any comments?
Papa is on mute.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Uh, yeah, it suits Mr. Our Muni's passion here and his training content, and I see it is complete and very very clear explanation by Muni's. Very clear, very clear. And your background, wow, very nice, Muni's.
Which one, the PowerPoint? Or
Your
the...
background now, you are sitting. Your background now.
Yeah, I just created it yesterday.
Very nice, very nice. It's very impressive. It's
Okay,
related to your
Afnan.
topic that you are talking. All right, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Prabha. Afnan, any comments?
Well, I just came in. It's unfair for me to give a lot of comments. Just
Comments on what you saw.
okay, based on what I saw, I just came in between during Moni's presentation. It's due to the pictures and also the some wordings there straight away, and then I can see his enlightened relationship. Straight away, I can have a basic understanding of what he's talking about.
Okay, all right. So here, let me just first of all, the stuff that you've got on the bottom, the logo and your Instagram, Facebook, email, your telephone. Okay, it distracts from what you're doing. Okay, so first of all, you already have your logo on your background, which is perfect because there you've got, especially online, right? People see that, they already know that's your logo, that's your company. But now you're giving the presentation. The presentation is about the content, it's about this. Now, one thing that see the thing is, all this stuff is important, but not on every slide. What you do is you create a special slide, which can be towards the end, not at the end, but towards the end. Is like, okay, hey, so now that we've done this particular part, 2 parts or part 1 or whatever, hey, I just want you to know that I have a lot more content and some specific tips on my Instagram. So why don't you follow me on Instagram? And then on, one more later, you say, hey, okay, I also post some videos on my Facebook related to relationships. So, okay, please, follow or join my page on Facebook, one at a time, because if you give them Instagram, Facebook, and everything all at the same time, they don't do any of them.
Right. Okay.
Right? People are not multitaskers. Ask them one thing. Instagram, sign up right now. Okay. Yesterday, remember when we talked about the colored brain? I got you to do one thing, which was just invite your friends, okay, or invite the people in the group. Just one thing. Didn't ask you to do anything else or join anything else. Just one thing. People need to have that one focus, that one thing that you can ask them to do immediately, rather than make it passive. You put it right in the middle, somewhere where it's relevant, and you say, hey, this tip, okay, if you like these tips, here I have, check out my Instagram, and do it now. Okay. Everybody have a phone here. Does everybody have a phone? You hold up your phone. Okay, go to Instagram. Here's the thing. Okay. And then you have the thing big on the slide, and get them to do it right online.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
That way you get more followers. Even if you're doing free programs, you get more followers, which basically means more potential business later on.
Yeah.
Okay. And then later on you do the Facebook, and then if you've got a YouTube channel or whatever, but just one channel at a time. And then at the end, that's where you put your contact information and any, but remember, if they're on Instagram already from the very beginning, they can always message you. Okay, so even if they don't get your phone or your email, if they're on any of these things, they can message you, send you, some, and say, hey, help me out. My wife tried to murder me last night. I don't know what to do. So, okay. Now, just one thing that I would like to bring attention to is that you notice that most of the images that Muniz has chosen, he didn't squish them. Okay. See, this is a mistake that a lot of people make. They have this really nice image, and they feel that they need to kind of make the image fit on the slide exactly. So they stretch it, or they make it squished, and then people look fat or thin. Okay. And then it doesn't look good, right? Because it's like, oh, this person looks weird. Okay, and when people start to look weird, or you start to squish images, okay, then it creates it's like this kind of like with thing. Okay, and so you can see that the majority of Muniz's images are not squished or stretched. So it's easier to just let it overhang. So you make it the size of this, if you make it the size of the slide and part of it is hanging down on the bottom, it's okay. Just kind of cut off that bottom part. It's better than squishing the image.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, because that way you get the original feeling of the image, especially in an emotional image. Okay, because if you've got, for example, you've got a couple and they look squished, they may not look that romantic. Okay, so also one thing that I noticed that you've got this kind of red color and very thick images, or a very thick lettering or font over your images, which has this brilliant contrast, and it also has this kind of emotional, the association of kind of pinkish red with love and all of these things. So that's brilliant choice of font over the image to create the contrast, so it's readable, and also the coloring is also brilliant.
Thanks to Afnan for introducing about colors to me the other day. So
hey, there you go. All right, awesome. Okay, so Afnan, what do you got?
Okay. Hold on, Okay, hold on, let me do again. Sorry, was a mistake. Okay, hold on. Again. Okay. Hello, hi, and welcome everybody to my presentation. So briefly, I would like to introduce to you my program on body language and micro expression. And after this slide, I will also show to you a small clip, a little clip of what body language can do for you. So when you talk about body language, it's very important for those, especially for employers want to hire a good potential candidate. So from here, you can know your candidate better just only by looking at their preparation, by body language preparation during the interview. Okay, as you can see from these 4 pictures here, immediately you can know that the last person on your right is the person who is more prepared rather than this other 3 person, because they are still looking at notes, everything. But this guy seems so relaxed, not very intense, and he's just using his handphone. Okay, seems like he's more relaxed, more casual, and ready for an interview. And what other body language is good that you can use is that you can make yourself closer to your children, because you know the touch, especially for kids, those under 12 years old, touching in relationship definitely can have a very high impact, especially for kids under 12 years old. So knowing when and where to touch to kids definitely will bring a very huge impact to them. Okay. And of course, if you are a manager or a leader, knowing how to engage your team members, especially in very long and boring meeting, definitely will really assist you to avoid all this kind of, okay, actually I really feel sleepy, when is this going to end? And then they start looking at the watch, everything, and then you didn't manage to control your crowd. Oh my goodness. So this is the way how you can ensure that everybody will keep on focus, listening to you, have attention to whatever you say. Okay. From my experience, especially for Malay culture, when you talk to somebody showing with your index finger, it will be an offense. People will have, oh my goodness, why is this? Especially for me when I did my training program, because of my baby face, okay? So when I talk to them and using my index fingers, and then they'll say, oh my goodness, boy, young boy, you are very, very impolite showing with your index finger. You should be showing with your thumb finger. It's more important, it's more polite. So from here also, you will know what is the proper way to communicate to people, especially when it regards to different cultures, different societies, and different age, which is very interesting actually. When you see this, and then you're pointing this, and then they will make like, oh my goodness, why is it this guy is doing this? Okay, so that's another advantage. And the last advantage of knowing body language is you can have better attraction, especially towards the other mate. Okay, and then you also can control yourself to ensure that sometimes we didn't know that some of our postures that we are doing actually seducing the other parties. So please better make sure on your post, on your action, so that people will have double meaning on what you are doing. Okay, to conclude everything, I would like to share with you guys with this clip, which is taken from Lie to Me, on how body language will have effect. Okay.
We heard about Samantha. Officer asked Walter some questions. Thank us for the call.
Is there a video, Afnan?
Come again?
Just like yesterday.
Is there a video?
Yes, there's a video.
Can't see it.
You can't
Okay,
see the video.
okay, hold on.
Remember to include audio when you're sharing. System audio. Thank you.
Yeah, now you can see.
Hold on, let me redo back again.
I called the tip line.
We called the police when we heard about Samantha. You thanked us for the call, that was it.
It's awful. Seems just like yesterday Walter was taking the bus with her.
You do that a lot, do you, Walter? Take the bus with Sam.
I guess.
You were friends?
Don't have many friends, do you? Hey?
I don't care. People are stupid.
Not Sam, though, eh?
Where's that picture we have of you with Samantha? Is it in your bedroom?
Nope. Something's in your bedroom, isn't it, Walter? Let's go and have a look.
Hold on. What do you think you're doing?
Are you afraid your son is hiding something?
No, of course not.
Hey, Walter. You know how to play hot or cold? Yeah? Okay, am I hot?
This is dumb.
So I'm cold, right? Okay. How about now? I'm still cold. I'm getting warmer, Walter. Yeah.
That's enough. You need a warrant before you can look through his things.
No, Dan. I'm not with the police.
I want you out of my house right now.
Nice backpack, Walter.
Where is she?
Dun!
So if you want to know more about this, come and join me to understand better. Okay, that's it from me, guys. Thank you very much.
All right, awesome. Thank you. All right.
I forgot to, let me switch off the
Yeah.
This kid had anything to do with Samantha's disappearance.
Okay, I'm ready. Any comment, guys?
Munis, any comments?
Yeah, Afnan, can you just put on the slides again? Can you share the slides again? Okay, so if you go to the first slide,
Okay.
the first slide, right? So I noticed that, you know, when you talk about know your potential candidate and you spoke about people going for interview and how they're holding the phones and all that. So I know where you are getting at in terms of, you know, whether you can assess whether the person is being confident, the person is calm, relaxed, or the person is feeling a little bit uneasy inside. So I think this picture is relays what you are saying. Know your potential candidate. Yeah. The only thing that I'm trying to understand is when you put potential in caps, all in caps, right? Are you trying to make that, like, you know, a key point, or what was your intention?
Okay, so most of the slides, all the words that I put on the caps is the key point, just to attract people to read more on that, to express more on that particular words.
Okay. But I don't know about the others, but for me, right, personally, mixing the you know, lowercase and uppercase, right? Sometimes for me, I find it, personally for me, right, I find it a little bit uneasy. I find it very irritating when I read, you know, for me personally, but I think for others may not be. But for me, it's like that, you know. I see like, oh, big caps of, yeah, what's.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that, because this is the first time I heard somebody saying about that, because usually people say, oh, okay, yes, I know you are trying to stretch on that.
Yeah. I know your intention was that, but it's just that I feel like, oh, you know, okay, I'm reading these caps, and then why is a cap, and then you know, that's the thing that so So why I'm saying that is sometimes when I look at that, right, I stop listening to what you're saying, but now focusing on what is the intention of that, So that's one feedback that I like to give you. I think your picture, the next one where you have the child, I really like that picture, the dad and the child. And then the other one with your team engagement with the board employee, I think that's perfect. That it makes me laugh, and it's funny at the same time. I think it conveys the message very clearly. And also about okay, the fourth slide, right, when you say improve communication, but then the thing that you use is pointing finger like that, right? So are you saying that, I don't know, people may think that yeah, it's part of body language, but are you saying that when you're pointing the finger you're communicating, or it's just a gesture, right? So people may question you if you were to put like that. Maybe you may consider a different picture, lah, right? So looks, but you can make a point to say that, from a body language point of view, if you point a finger like that, in certain cultures, like, in Malaysian culture, that is tak sopan lah, which is very rude, right? And then the last one you say, better attraction. Yeah, I like this. And this picture really conveys that, because the way the guy is standing, right, it's very open, and he's openly flirting. You can see that he's openly flirting. If the lady, right, if you can find a picture of a lady just touching her hair, right, that'll be great. That both of them are flirting. Yeah, so I really like it. The only small thing that I see is this, but it is personal for me. It's I have a little bit of thing about capitals, uppercase and lowercase mixing together. That's the only thing. Otherwise, it's great. And then another thing on the video, right? So the video, there was a bit of a lag. So the music wasn't smooth, and then there was like a bit of a lag. So I think if you were to share the URL and get them to click on it and view it, instead of you sharing, I think would be a better way. Otherwise, because you're talking about body language, so people need to notice the difference, the changes in the face and all that. By having the jagged video, right, sometimes you miss that parts.
Well, I want to tell you one little secret. Actually, I did this just 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
So usually I would paste everything in my PowerPoint. But okay, so it's good to know also. So next time if I have any videos, I should put it together with my PowerPoint instead of put it separately. And another thing is, don't do it last minute.
Well, also the video element, like Muniz said, it's going to really depend on your bandwidth. Because you also, right now you're doing Zoom, and then you also have the bandwidth of the video itself that is required. So if you don't have really good bandwidth, that could affect your Zoom and your video at the same time, because there's limited amounts of bandwidth. So like Muniz said, especially if you have limited bandwidth, just give the URL and let other people watch it themselves, and then you can put them out into like individual breakout rooms, for example, to watch the video.
I had the first-hand experience the other day when you guys gave me the feedback. Remember, I was putting the music. Yeah.
Now, I just want to, just a little note on fonts, capitals, and things like this. Okay, so besides Muniz's comments, most of the the purpose of highlighting one word with all caps usually does emphasize that word, and most people aren't like Muniz, so I mean, it just does have that kind of emphasis. Now there's always going to be somebody that's gonna just pick on something because it bothers them in some cases. So I mean, for example, it's like somebody might say, why did you use orange on gray? That orange color just doesn't make sense. Okay? you'll never please everybody. That's just one of the things that you're gonna just have to deal with. Okay. There's different kinds of ways to use capitals. So there's the camel font, okay, or camel case. Camel case is where you have like capital letter, and then this next word is also capitalized, and the rest of the word, it's just the front of the word, the front of each word is capitalized. That's called camel case. And that works when, you use that with all the words except words like a, and, to, all the little article kind of words, right? So and that essentially is used for titles. You can also use caps for titles. And again, like you were doing, or like you did there, is, that element of potential candidate, to emphasize the word potential, because, when I look at that, it says, okay, you haven't defined your candidates. So these are all potential candidates. So the emphasis made it, that seem to me that there is, that, who's the one with the most potential.
3 o'clock, sir. 3 o'clock.
Okay, so anyway, totally up to you on the use of these things. Emphasis on capitalization, bolding, highlighting also can be used. The slides were very clean, very easy. The words were small, as the simple, and I mean, I did get a little confused with the pointing finger thing a little, because it didn't really match the word, because I mean, you could have, but in your explanation, if you would have said something like, sometimes you're communicating without even realizing it. Okay, did you know that, like, in Malaysian culture, pointing finger is, X, and you're communicating this, but sometimes people don't even realize it, which is what I think you meant, but you didn't convey that in the in the explanation. So everything else was good. So Prabha, anything else on that?
On my observation and explanation, see the pictures, the wording, the last word. I think it suits, and like what Munish says, the first picture, the third picture, and the fifth picture, I love it. Really, really, very, very understanding picture with the words, just a few words, and Afnan explain it. So for me, it's clear, very clear.
Okay, I'd like to point out something else on this. Okay, notice the primary shading and colors of all of these pictures.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you notice that they actually are, they have a similar hue? So, they have grays and whites, a lot of grays and whites in them. Did you notice that?
Yes, yes.
So the picture is consistent. The picture type is consistent. It's very difficult to do this, but if you can, it really kind of maintains the same theme throughout the whole presentation. So sometimes, I mean, choosing pictures that have the same hue or the same, style of the grays and whites, or whatever it is that you're doing, maybe very colorful type things, whatever. But keeping them all the same is usually, that consistency helps to make you look very professional.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So, all right, let's stop sharing the screen. Awesome. Okay, so Prabha, you don't have anything, right?
No.
Okay, so I thought maybe, since Afnan did it last 10 minutes, maybe you were working on it while we were kind of doing our thing, no?
Okay. If like that means, okay, I share just what I did while they were, as what you said.
Okay, you got it? You got something?
Okay, let me share with you. Just a fast one, just a fast one.
Fast one, okay. Give us a quickie, Prabha.
Right? All while waiting for a meeting, Prabha.
Yeah, still waiting. Can you see the slide?
Yeah. Stay in one piece. But that's clearly a fake finger. You need to use a real one.
There's a first one. Okay. For me, yeah, I'm more on the safety, so I would like to explain about the safety. So safety is the most important element in our daily life. Where for me, safety, or for everyone, safety is the most important thing, so that it will lead to our happy life. So the second one is, we must remember that there are a lot of souls that we love is waiting for us, especially at home, our children, our wife, parents, and all that. Safety also can increase productivity at workplace and our productivity as well. The company will be able to give us bonuses or increment or whatever it is. Just a simple one of that. And then safety is the key for everything in our life. Thank you very much. Just a simple one.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Prabha. Okay, guys, Muniz, comments?
I like this one. I like this
The first image is brilliant. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, me too. I like it.
Very good. Of course, if you put some blood around the finger.
Make it real.
This one, I think maybe the picture, like what Arthur was explaining.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think, but
it's blur, it's blur.
Yeah, but
well, it's not blur. It's squished. It looks like maybe they were smashed by something, or they're fat dwarves. I'm not quite sure which one.
I understand.
Yeah. So I think this picture also talks a little bit about the relationship between safety and your productivity increase, and at the same time revenue increase for the company and all that. Yeah, that's okay. And then safety is key. Lock it in. I'm struggling to understand about this. About safety is key. Lock it in. I'm trying to understand what exactly you're trying to convey from here. This one I'm not too sure.
That means safety is the key for everything. So please make sure you follow safety. That means you must what we call apply safety at all times, so that it will become your main key in your life.
Okay. Make sure you internalize it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Afnan, any comment?
I'm also same as Muniz. He's on the comments, and also for the pictures, because on the second picture, if Baba can get a very nice, clear picture, definitely will have a high impact. People will say, "Oh, that's very important."
All right.
Okay, so let's just look at a couple of things on there. Prabha, would you mind putting the slides back up? Okay, go to the the previous one.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Oop. Got it? That's fine. You just need to kind of go backwards on the slides. Okay, like the one where he has the profit, okay, and then he's got the dollar signs. He's got two images there. Okay, do the images match? No, they don't match, right? So he's got one that's a solid image with kind of a productivity thing written on the wall, and then he's got another one which is a 3D image, totally different types of images. Okay, so we already know about the number 2 image. Okay, so that one, if you maybe something where you don't have to squish the people, and then this one. Okay, so productivity increase. And then you've got the 3D version of the other one, which has got a white background. So in this kind of a situation, pick one.
All right. Okay.
All right, pick one. You can always add a dollar sign on top of the productivity increase But if you're, you can just mention the potential for profit, right? Productivity equals profit. You don't have to have two pictures on it. And you also squish this one so that, it's difficult to read the productivity because this is squished. This picture actually is a long picture. And then the next one after this, okay, this one is not even in line with any of the other images. So remember that whatever images you're using, try to be consistent with the type of image. So for example, Apnan, all of the image types were the same. And in fact, he even had the same hues and colors to match. That was very professional. And if you remember Munis's images, okay, with the relationships, with the people, they all had, a very consistent message that was about connection and everything else. And while yours, you've got Champur.
PC. I am Batu Campur.
Right, yeah, right. So you just think like nasi campur, okay?
Nasi campur.
A little bit of nasi, okay, over here. Okay, so it's
5 minutes one.
Yeah. Don't mix. Okay,
Yeah,
one consistent theme.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what you want to. By having consistency with the theme, consistency with the images. Okay, you look more professional and you get your message across. That last one with the key thing. I mean, first of all, it was a cartoon, while the other ones were not cartoons. And second, you've got it's a small image and you blew it up and it's blurry. And the other one, the other thing is it doesn't make any sense.
It's okay, no problem.
So to drive home the concept of key, that safety is the key, you can literally write down, just create a key. Okay, maybe it could be an individual key with a white background because you started with a finger and that white background. So you can create similar images to the first slide. You got the finger, you got the little thing on there. So then maybe on the other one, maybe you have white background, maybe just, in fact, just a little girl kind of like crying, wow, because my daddy got squished by a forklift. Wow, she's like crying with a white background, right? Okay, so you just have that. So it's just a girl by herself, okay, crying, okay? And with the white background again, so keeping the white background. Then the next one, instead of having the productivity thing with the brick and everything else, you can basically just have something that has like you can get an arrow kind of thing. You can make it yourself and then just put the text of productivity in there. Again, keeping the white background consistent with the previous slides. And then on the fourth one, just have a key, okay? And then you can have something like, safety is the key to happiness or to not dying or whatever you want to have, right? So having that consistency on the slides is key.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, okay. So thank you for kind of putting it all together in, the past 7 minutes. So you helped us to give some good examples of what not to do.
Yeah.
All right, excellent, great, thank you, Rava. All right, so now, did you guys also go through the pre-training and the roles and delegation? Did you go through those videos or not yet?
Yeah.
Okay, you did? Okay, Prabha, did you go through that?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so let's what I'd like you to, those are more for, for the pre-training. All of that is going to be related to kind of, getting people ready to help you, getting set. So all of that is going to be related back to the idea of doing more production type of events, right? Okay, and while you may not be doing that, you might want to do that later. So anytime you've got some big kind of thing where you do a lot of marketing and you get a lot of people involved, you might want to make sure that, again, just like if you're going to do a training in a classroom, you still need to make sure that you have all the pens and you still have to have all this, and you know, you've got all the equipment is working and everything else. So all of the stuff that's going to be, that all of the people that might need to be involved in making sure that the handouts are delivered or printed or all of those things. That's all about creating that the pre-training and the roles and everything that is required for you to be able to be professional in the process. Okay. Any comments on the pre-training and the roles?
Not really. Currently, as I'm also doing some form of online training now, I am also having someone to help me put certain things on the chat group. Like, for example, I shared with you the in Microsoft Teams, right? You can do all your forms and surveys and whatever not. So as I'm speaking, I'll get that person to, you know, put those links, and I'll tell them that, you know, look out for the links and go and click on the link and do all those things.
Excellent. Yeah. That way you can focus on what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. So one thing that I liked, one of the things that you mentioned in the video was about having someone, you know, who may not be really experienced in this area, this topic of discussion, but you having that person on standby and you communicating with that person and, you know, having a discourse at the same time, you know, when you're conducting that session. I think that's very useful because it creates a more relaxed conversational kind of an environment. Yeah.
Especially in, you know, when you're doing webinars and you want people to basically sign up for the next level, you know, having somebody that's a different individual or a different industry but related to yours. So for example, in relationships, you might want to have somebody that got divorced. Okay. And, you know, but preferably not somebody that's bitter and negative, right? So they don't just complain and you know, and make the other person bad, right? But you want to get, you know, somebody that got divorced, and, you know, so what were some of the things that, you know, ended up creating the breakdown, and so this way you're interviewing them and finding out like what were some of the signs, for example, right? And then you also have somebody that's been married for 50 years, okay, happily, and they still holding hands and stuff, and you know, what are some of the things that you did and where were some of the obstacles? So creating, you know, these different little individuals that you work together with in order to essentially promote and validate the things that you talk about.
Yeah.
Okay. Afnan, anything?
No,
Any
okay.
comments, questions?
No. I'm okay. Yeah.
All right. So now we've got just a few more lessons to go. All right, and the next one is going to be about the different platforms. All right. So what I'd like you to do for the next program is I want you to just check out all of the different platforms. So I want you to actually try out Google Meet. Try out, well, we've already been doing Zoom, okay? Try out Skype. Just have some little sessions with different people, Webinar Jam, Microsoft Teams, anything else that you can find. Just look for different things that you can use for free. And just kind of, I want you to give me the pros and cons for each of these. Okay, so your job is basically just try them. You don't have to try them for an hour. You can try them for 5-10 minutes with somebody, or even just look at them and look at what you think are the pros and cons of each of these different platforms. So, okay, so you look for 5 different platforms. What do you like and what don't you like? And what are some of the, and which one would you, and would you use different ones for different places? I would also like you to check out one called StreamYard. Okay, StreamYard is specific for making one-way communication. So that means it's like if you have like a one-to-many, so where you can literally streamed to thousands of people on YouTube and Facebook, for example. So that's, but it's not an interactive type thing except for the different links or comments that come in. So look at StreamYard, look at these different kinds of things. Whatever you find, give me 5 different pros and cons, or give me the pros and cons on 5 different platforms, and which you like, and give me your favorite. Okay. So that is the homework for next time.
Okay, got it.
Okay. All right, so then that's it. You want to meet tomorrow at 10 or 2?
Tomorrow I'm not available. Tomorrow
Tomorrow not available. No problem. Okay. What? When? Day after?
Yeah, this one not available. I have
Thursday I'm also not
training
available.
program.
Okay. When's? Let's see. Today is Tuesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday I'm not free.
Okay. Tuesday.